What's up, you guys? We're back, and in today's video we're going to talk about a really controversial topic that we've actually avoided up until now for whatever reason. I don't really talk about it much on this channel. And that's net decking. The thing that's super, you either love it or you hate it or you feel this way or that way. What is net decking, Trell? For the people who at home who mayhaps don't know what netdecking is.
Netdecking is simply going online or to any other forum, finding the top quote-unquote cookie-cutter decks. Well, not even the top, but just finding a deck that you're interested in playing, finding a build that is already pre-made, that has already shown some kind of success, and emulating it.
Yeah, and there are a lot of popular places people go. Certain YouTuber channels just have like top deck list, 8th place, 3rd place, whatever deck.
Right. And
then there's like websites that have them too, Facebook, everywhere. Netdecking is controversial for a couple of reasons. Some people feel like it, kills creativity. Make your own deck. Don't copy other people's work. Be original. Be creative. And then other times people think it's it's a good thing. Like it's a starting point. This is where you can use this to make a deck. So there are like ups and downs. We're just gonna kind of talk about it, what we think of it. You can start. What do you think about netdecking? Is it as bad as people say? Is it breaking the Yu-Gi-Oh law? Is it just a sin against nature?
I feel like now personally, I feel like netdecking is subjective. Reason being is because once again it comes from what you're trying to get out of the game. And with that being said, back when I was younger and I wasn't as competitive of a player as I am now. I hated netdecking. I was one of those guys who I only use creative decks, and if I didn't think of it, I can't play it. Blah blah blah. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's really good to be creative and show that you have a good concept of and grasp of card interactions and game and rulings and things like that. The thing is, if you have the ability to see something that has proven its worth, why would you not try to get any kind of pointers from that?
Agreed. I think it's a good starting point.
Exactly. Because you have to start from somewhere, and it's okay to have your own idea and try to start something, and maybe that might fail. But like I said, this is something that is tried and true. It is proven that hey, you can do such and such with this deck. Look at it. It's not going to kill you. And like I said, at first I was the person who hated it, and then as I become a competitive player, I remember I actually talked with a few of my own personal original creative builds. But then you realize in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, the word original is extremely taboo. There's no such thing.
Few and far between, man.
If you thought of it, somebody else already thought of it too. They just may not have gotten exposure to prove it. But
right, and that's kind of just to derail for a second. It's why I don't really like when people are like, "This is my original build." I was the first person to ever do this, and it's like, no, you weren't. Not in Yu-Gi-Oh. That doesn't really happen.
There's always the first, but it probably wasn't you.
No, so there are some pros and cons to netdecking. And these are just objective pros and cons. The biggest one that comes up to me is when you netdeck a deck and you take it to locals and you're still losing. Why might that happen?
It's because one, I strongly believe that what works for one person may not work for another. With that being said, a lot of people when they netdeck, and the wrong way to netdeck, and this happens a lot, like I said, you take it to locals, is you netdeck, you copy a deck, you keep it the exact same, and you expect to play it and win, or you get the same success that the player who made it did. And that's the problem, is that obviously every person builds their deck to fit their style, to fit to fit what their strong points
how
are.
they play, how they feel like it should be played.
And so you end up you take this deck and you play it card for card because obviously it was good. It proved that it could it could win. It's worth it. And then you do shitty with it, and the first thing you say is this build sucks. When really, in all actuality, it doesn't work for you because it's not your build. Every deck should have some of your own spiciness to it. And I hate using that word spiciness, but it's the truth.
A big one that I always tell people is, certain decks, especially if it's one, say, a YCS, you have to consider the difference in context, right?
Right.
Like, if someone's playing something and taking it at a YCS, it's teched out to face the meta that they suspect they'll, So, like, if, Necroz format, you might be, like, main decking triple shared ride or something because that's what that format, that was a thing. But if you take it to your locals that's full of, like, tier 3 rogue decks, then triple shared rides are going to be dead, like, 90% of your games. And you can't complain that, I netdecked this best deck and it won YCS and the best player used it. How come it's not, winning in locals for me? Mayhaps it's because your locals isn't full of, Necroz and things like that. It's your locals is full of, ultra athletes and Greydles and things,
So it's demographically incorrect.
And, also, netdecking, as great as it is, will not tell you how to play the deck.
It will not.
It will tell you what to play in the deck. It won't tell you how to play it. You won't recognize situations. You won't,
You can't play out of situation. You don't know what your best combos are. I mean, a lot of people who net deck, of course, and people, and like I said, once again, we're not saying net decking is bad, so it's a good thing. It's just you net deck, you do your research. A lot of people they have the issue with net decking of they only know the combos that they've seen. So you net deck a build, and you're like, okay, this build did good. I'm going to try it out. You go to YouTube, you find videos of the deck actually in action. Oh, that's a really cool combo. Didn't know I can do that. So you learn it, or you retain it. And your problem comes to where now you've got the deck in your hands, but everything that you saw in the video, none of that is happening for you. It didn't happen in real life, and now you're having to play out of a situation, but you never gave yourself the ability to even learn how to do that. So once again, you blame it on the deck as opposed to your own knowledge of the game and your own originality.
That reminds me of the little gripe I have with when people upload this Dev Pro replay montage of top deck, where they just edit out all their losses. They only show the duels where they do the biggest combo the deck has to offer.
This is what it can do.
And there's this is the max. You can go plus 20 with this play.
Best case scenario.
But then it's you don't actually see how matchups work, and you don't actually learn anything about the deck. You just see that, if I open with this exact 6-card combination, I can go off and put 10,000 plus damage on the board. But it's well, that's great, but and this isn't anything new either, right? This isn't this is only pay format. This has happened for years. People have net decked for years.
Since the beginning of the game.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good starting point, but I think you still have to supplement it with your own research and your own play testing.
Right, and your own style. Like I said, what works for one doesn't work for the other. So, like I said, and my thing is, I try not to net deck. Like I said, not that I'm against it. It's just that I really want to try to be creative enough on my own. Even though I know I'm not the first person to think of it, I know that if I can think of it on my own, I feel better about that.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
At least I know that I have the knowledge of the game within my own self. So even as a player,
it feels much better.
Right, it feels better knowing that at least I know this on my own. That hey, this can work without actually having to go see it somewhere else. And I said, so with that being said, when you build something, you know what your play style is. If you're conservative, if you're aggressive, you know what you need to put in there. Because some people play very conservative, and that might be a really good build for them, but you might be an aggressive player, and you're like, man, this is shit. None of this is coming together, and you still don't know why. And like I said, once again, everybody blames the wrong. They blame the deck. They're not realizing that, hey, maybe I should make this my thing. And
you're totally right. It feels great to me too when I'm building a deck, and I even if I come to the same conclusion everyone else has. The fact that I came to it myself. Instead of just having someone tell me okay, Paul, because I wanted to build Mermails, and instead of having somebody say all right, here is the de facto Mermail build for this format, and this is the main one combo you do.
Right.
I would rather figure that out for myself because that means I understand each step of it. I'm not following the steps as instructions. I'm following them as this is what I
know. This is I understand this about the game, and so this allows me to actually to go further with the deck itself, especially if it's what you want to play.
So what would we tell people who, bash others for net decking, and what would we tell people who only rely on it for a crutch? Starting with the first one.
People who bash others for net decking are hypocrites, because I'm pretty sure at some point in your life you probably looked online for a build. And if you say that you never have, just be honest, I'm pretty sure you probably never won that much either. I'm just being completely honest with you.
He's right. Yeah, that's true.
So if you're bashing somebody for net decking, you're a fucking hypocrite.
That's 100%. And then for the second question, if you're net decking and you're not seeing the result that you want, that probably means turn on the computer. That probably means that you need to do some more research. Play the game for yourself.
Find out what works for you.
Sure, net decking can save you time, it can save you money, and it can get you quick results. But a lot of times, especially today, where so many decks are teched out for a certain thing, and you really have to kind of know, right? It's not just a matter of take it and you'll get magical results. It just doesn't happen. Yeah,
and that's like you were saying earlier, how when people put these Dev Pro videos up of the deck list, and it doesn't show the matchups, doesn't show what they lost, it doesn't show what they had problems with. It just shows this is the winning deck list, and people are pretty much under the assumption that maybe this deck went undefeated for the whole day. That's why I know YCS Sydney just passed.
Yeah.
And of course we all know that Pepe won, but the winner actually went into on Reddit. I don't know if you are on Reddit or anything.
Yeah.
But
the guy. Shout outs to our Yu-Gi-Oh! It's great.
Basically, but anyway, so this guy the winner of YCS Sydney, he was on Reddit. He made a fully detailed explanation of the entire.
I love those.
Yeah, the entire event, and they asked him what was his worst match. Because let's be honest. Everybody thinks that Pepe's tier 0, but we all know it's not. So that's not even an argument because that's another video for another time. But it's a very well built deck. But obviously it has its problems.
Reading that type of stuff helps to show that the
Helps
deck
you
has
know.
weaknesses, but he can adapt to it, and
He
that's how
adapted.
you win.
And actually, they asked me, what was your problem deck? He was like, Burn the Bitch fucked his life up. So you don't know that from just looking at the deck list itself. All you know is that this is the combination of cards that got him first place. But you don't know that he got shitted on by Burning Abyss player. I mean, he said he resolved 3 Twin Twisters against a Burning Abyss player and still lost the back row in the same game. Like, what? It hurts. I mean, so obviously, but you don't know that by looking at a deck. So pretty much,
Moral of the story: don't watch a video that's 2 minutes long. Just 2 minutes long. Has
if it's just a list of cards, then obviously it's not enough for you, especially if you don't know. Now, if you're a Pepe player already and you know how to play the game,
then that can help.
Yeah, it can help. It can help. It can help boost.
New,
but if you're new and you're one of those people who can just put the money on the deck and try to learn it in a day or a week or whatever time you have. A 2-minute deck profile is not what you need to be looking for. You need some actual extensive research to actually. I mean, no matter how good at the game you are, if
watch
you don't know
channels that make real life profiles.
Real profiles, real explanations, real duels, and not just this is the best case scenario. This is what you could do because then you're living in a fucking fantasy world. So
yeah, some people only do that kind of videos on their channel.
Yeah,
that's none of my business. So
don't put the replays up if they win.
Yeah,
that's the fucking bullshit.
We want to know what you guys think about Netdecking. I mean, I honestly feel like this hopefully sheds some light onto the pros, the cons. We're not going to make a verdict on like whether you like must do it or if you do it, you're evil.
There's no right or wrong.
But I think it's just a part of Yu-Gi-Oh that you have to accept. You know, it's fine.
Like not bathing.
That it exists.
It's like part of Yu-Gi-Oh that you just have to accept.
We have a video about that. You should watch it. I'll link it. And I also have another quick announcement. I put this in another video recently, but if you have watched some of our openings recently, you'll have seen that we have a cool playmat. Woo! Cool. It's got all of us on it.
Unless you're racist.
Yeah, you don't like black people on your playmat, then this isn't the mat for you. That's true. I'm like Chinese Negro is what they said in the comments. So if you want
for real, because he really is part Asian.
If you want this mat, you can purchase it from Inked Playmats, and there's a link to that in the description. So support us, and if you do it, like upload a picture of yourself with it, like a selfie
in it.
Put it on like my Twitter or my fan page. You can find links to that.
We love to see it.
Great. I don't know. And yeah, that's the video. Hope you guys liked it. Tell us your thoughts on Netdecking. Is it a sin? Is it a blessing? You know, what's up with that? And that's the vid.
Yeah. Whose shirt do you like better, mine or his? I think mine's pretty fucking sexy.
I think it's a pretty obvious answer. It's just like clearly the cool one. Mine just like gray. Although I saw someone on campus.
Gray is actually a really cool color though.
I saw someone on campus yesterday. He had like the hoodie version of this. And I was like, wow.
Take it. He's so fucking passive.
Okay.
I got a metal back in my car.
My solution would be invite him for a video.
And then we take it.
Yeah, sure.
I like the way he thinks.
So that's the video. We hope you guys liked it. We'll have other content coming soon.
Till next time, people.
Yeah. Peace.
Out.